Thank you, guys. Really, really happy to be here. Sue, but also known as Sululemon, because I love Lululemon. So my story and where it begins. 2 seconds. This is the bit where I go and get the clicker. You saw it happen in action. This is me at 7. And my story is that I come from extremely modest background. I grew up in an area which wasn't necessarily a really nice area to grow up in. My parents are both artists. My mom's a dancer, and my father is a musician. One guess how they met. So all I ever wanted to become was a professional dancer. I danced for 10 years, and then sadly, midway through my teens, I got injured and I couldn't pursue a career in dance. Absolutely shattered, heartbroken. There was no plan B. So it was in that particular time, my mom did have a plan B. She wanted me to go to the not-so-glee high school. And when you're 15, that's like the worst thing that you could happen. Your friends are all going somewhere else. You have to commute so far, and you're not able to do what you wanted to do so much of. I went anyway. I think when you're a teenager, you don't really debate with your mom. What she says happens. So I went on to that high school, and I finished it successfully. When I did that, I still didn't know what to do. No plan B in sight. So I had to go to various places to really figure out, like, what is it that I wanted to do. And it was in this particular time that I went from anything to do with farming all the way through to open days at universities where they would talk about aerospace engineering. And then there was this one professor, and he made, at that point in time, an analogy which had everything to do with dance. And I think he described it something along the lines of, in order to compose a beautiful piece that in harmony can exist and become a beautiful performance, everyone has to play their part in the piece. Shake it off, shake it off. No, that was not part of it. And so here's this guy. He's not trying to convince me to come to this particular university. No, he just talks about his experience, and he was talking about a degree in human resources. Now, at that time, I wasn't sure whether it was going to be right for me or not, but I decided to take on that HR degree, and I never looked back, and I obtained a degree in HR. And here I was, fast forward in time, last year, 2017, and I was absolutely delighted to be recognized, to receive a spot on the top 30 ethnic minority future leaders list. Now, you might ask yourself, why do these lists exist? Because to be very honest, when I was nominated for it, I asked myself, so why would that be a big deal? Wouldn't it just be because I'm skilled and good at what I do? And upon reflecting on it a bit more, I really learned that the value of these lists is, firstly, for those organizations and leaders that are pushing the diversity agenda forward. Secondly, to inspire the next generation. And thirdly, to recognize and celebrate the achievements of those that come from an ethnic minority background. And to show people that it doesn't matter what your background is, it doesn't matter what your ethnicity is, you can achieve professional success. So I was really, really proud, not for myself, but more so for my mom. My mom worked 2 jobs every single day, and she studied in the evening. And this was to make sure that she was setting my siblings and I on track for economic opportunity. So when I thought back about that recognition and what it meant for me personally, it was really to make my family proud as being one of the first people in my family to go to university, and to be able to be on that list to inspire, hopefully, the next generation. And you can see a photo of me and my mom here. Then I joined LinkedIn. I never necessarily considered joining LinkedIn. I joined in London, and when I joined in London, I reconnected with my love for dance. What you can see here, and some of the artists here are actually on the side, this is the Christmas party in 2016. And when I joined LinkedIn in London, every Monday I would go to a dance class. And before I knew it, I was part of the LinkedIn London dance squad. And what happens is, at Christmas parties, sales kickoff, we're kind of the best kept secret. Everyone knows there might be a performance, but no, it's not happening. It's a surprise. So here you can see us dancing to, I believe, Under the Sea. And I even have a particular video clip that I can show you from a performance at Sales Kickoff. So regained my love for dance, joining an organization where I could be part of working with great people and dancing on stage in front of, I believe it was something like 3,000 people. But when that happened, it wasn't really just about the dancing piece. When I joined LinkedIn, I joined a company where I personally believed in its mission. Having come from not so modest backgrounds, I connected on a deeply personal level with what it means to create economic opportunity. And when that happened, and last year I moved, I think it's exactly a year ago, because I remember last year, I believe the weather was a bit better than what we've had to suffer in the last 5 months or so. I relocated from London to Dublin, and I decided that I wanted to get involved and do a little bit more and pay it forward. And together with a number of colleagues, some of which are here tonight, we founded a group for LinkedIn employees where our aim was really to educate all of us around the business about different cultures, different nationalities, and ethnic minorities. Now, here in Dublin, we've got over 50 nationalities, and when that's the case, I think it's even more important that we actually understand each other a little bit better. So this group aims for all of us to embrace each other's background, and when we do that, we can bring our best selves to work, and in doing so, do even better work. Now, I want to share with you a moment for me personally of where I felt I belonged. So in this launch event, and I see a few faces of people who attended this launch event, which was really fantastic, we talked about the concept of covering, or rather uncovering. And covering is that aspect where you decide to downplay or mute certain aspects of yourself because you don't want to be judged. So whether that is you may come from an Irish travelers community, your parents may be divorced, you may have children and not choose to talk about them, you may be gay but still in the closet. In my particular case, it was appearance covering. For many, many years, I didn't wear my hair the way that I wear it now. This is, except for the color, I guess, the way it grows from my head. And for many years, I actually underwent a process, a chemical process, to make sure I had straight hair, because I didn't believe I had good hair. And it hurt every single month. I had to pay shitloads for it and get that appointment booked in. And when I joined LinkedIn, I was like, you know what? I feel like I can be real here. I don't need to do this anymore. And at this particular event, we had a panel discussion and we talked about it, and I uncovered and shared my very, very personal story. And something magical happened. In sharing and being vulnerable, others shared their story. The most memorable moment after that event was one of our colleagues walked up to me and she said, "I'm diabetic. I've never told anyone this. I'm always looking for different spots whenever I need to go and take the jab." And that for me just really meant that by being vulnerable, sharing my own story, I could really pay it forward in a way that I'm hoping makes a difference. So the dancing part is absolutely awesome, but why ultimately I absolutely love being here is because I feel I can bring my true self. And then in closing, because I know you're waiting for the performances, I feel extreme gratitude for my mom, the sacrifices she made to set me and my siblings up for success in life. And now that I get to be here and pay it forward and use my voice, and LinkedIn allowing me that platform. Thanks for listening. So, I want to introduce you to Manuel. Manuel is a senior manager out of our London office, also part of the LinkedIn London Dance Squad, and he's going to be your MC for most of tonight.